Heyo, what's good everybody? Welcome back to another Ever Crisis video. So the second part of the limit break banners have finally come out, and that leads to another Should You Pull video. I've been waiting for these banners for quite some time because I've been holding off on the first banner to see what the second banner has to offer so that I can compare them and decide which one I want to pull on more. So, of course, the first banner was Cloud and Len, and the second banner is Sephiroth and Zack. So, new weapons for Sephiroth and Zack, Protector's Blade and Stream Guard, and new outfits for both of them as well, of course. And as I guessed, this is boost magic attack for all allies. And there are the outfits, looking pretty good. So let's take a closer look. Zack's outfit, Guardian Style, gives him Flame Blade Arcanum, 35% fire ability damage, and we all know Arcanums are very nice outfits. Of course, this one has a little bit less value if you already have Cloud's Arcanum outfit for fire, but if you want one specifically for Zack or specifically tailored towards magical DPS, then you could still pick this up and it could still have decent value. Moving on to his weapon, Stream Guard. I don't think the animations are as cool as Ceremonial Sword, but it's not bad. And the weapon itself has a very high magical attack stat. It of course has that broken R1 ability where it's boost magic attack for all allies, and then it has boost fire potency. It also has 850% single target magical fire damage, which if he's above 70% HP is increased to 1020%. That's 1.2 damage, times 1.2 damage. And then it's got an X sigil boost. For Sephiroth, I'm totally in love with this outfit. I'm a bit of a Sephiroth stan, but yeah. So this one gives you magic ability mastery, which is different to magic ability potency, so the two can stack. If you have magic ability potency at max, then the magic ability mastery will still add more on top of that. So that's more magic ability damage when your attack stance is maxed out. It also has boost HP, which I prefer over boost attack, magic attack and physical attack. His weapon, Protector's Blade, pretty clean animation, and a very high magical attack stat as well. Same broken R1 ability, and this one actually has boost magic ability potency. So unlike the other three weapons in these banners, this one is not tied to an element, and it has a very interesting command ability where it does 900% magical AoE damage, which is fantastic. But if you hit it as a single target attack on a single enemy, it actually multiplies the damage by 1.3. So let's take a look at Zack's weapon versus the only other magic attacking fire potency weapon, Barrett's Flame Projector. The Flame Projector has more physical attack stats, but as a magical weapon, that's kind of useless. So Zack's weapon has much more magic attack stat, which is great. It obviously has the magic attack for all allies versus Barrett's just for himself. Barrett's, though, does have more fire potency. And then the command ability is AoE versus single target, and the single target is up to 1020%, which is very, very nice. And then, of course, Zack's weapon has sigil boost, where Barrett's does not. So Zack's weapon pretty much wins out in every sphere except for fire potency. Definitely looking very good compared to the other magic attacking fire potency weapon in the game right now. Next, I'm going to compare it to the other weapon that does 850% command ability for fire. It is Sky Splitter. Of course, Sky Splitter is physical, but its primary stat is actually higher than Zack's weapon's primary stat, so that's 1 point for Sky Splitter. The boost magic attack for all allies beats the boost physical attack, so that's 1 point for Zack. Fire potency is higher on the Sky Splitter, another point for that. And of course the command ability has the ability to be even more than the Sky Splitter, so that gets a point there, and they both have sigil boost. So actually very comparable weapons. I would say if you already have a very strong Sky Splitter, this weapon has much less value. Of course, the boost magical attack for all allies is still something to consider. That's very, very useful to have. And of course, it's magic DPS versus physical DPS, so you could definitely get both of them, and you couldn't really go wrong with that. Moving on to Sephiroth's weapon, I'm going to do a quick comparison to all of the other magic ability potency weapons in the game right now. We'll start off with stats, and you can see that Sephiroth's Protector's Blade is much better than any of the other weapons. The only one that comes close is Power Soul, and it's still off 27 points. In terms of R abilities, obviously the SP Rapier has the highest boost magic ability potency. That comes at the cost of your R1 being magic defense, which is not great for DPS builds, of course. Other than that, the points are pretty similar, but Sephiroth's Blade has boost magic attack for all allies, whereas Sun Umbrella, for example, only has it for Aero. And then you get to the command ability, which is much better than any of the command abilities of the current weapons. 900%, which is what Tifa has, but it's AoE, and when it is single target, it trumps Tifa's with 1170%. So Protector's Blade looking very good compared to the competition, but I'll also need to compare it to a few other weapons. Let's compare it to other weapons that have strong command abilities for magic damage, and see how it measures up. So the Shinra Blade, for example, has a 940% command ability for magic damage, which is higher than the base of the Protector's Blade. The stats, the Protector's Blade destroys it in terms of magic attack, and it has higher points for both R abilities, and both R abilities are dedicated to magic, whereas the Shinra Blade is attack and ability potency, which is a split between physical and magical. As I mentioned, Shock Blast's base is better, but Protector's Blow is AoE, and it can be 1170% on a single target. And then finally, it has a Circle Sigil boost, whereas the Shinra Blade has no sigils. It has the boost for water, which is nice, but yeah. Protector's Blade far better than Shinra Blade, as it stands, in my opinion. Then the other weapon I want to compare it to is Cloud's Mithril Saber, which has a surprisingly strong command ability for magic damage as well. Pretty much the same as Shinra Blade with 940%. Let's take a look at all of the stuff. So stats, once again, Protector's Blade dominates. The R ability points are actually the same this time, but the R abilities themselves, Sephiroth's Blade is much better because it's magic attack for all allies versus just Cloud, and then magic ability potency versus just ability potency, which is once again split between physical and magical. Then the 1170 is much better than the 940, and finally the sigil boost versus no sigil boost makes Sephiroth's Protector Blade much better than the Mithril Saber as well. So this weapon absolutely crushing the competition. And overall, going back to Zack's weapon, it is a solid weapon, and it has the third best magic attack stat in the game right now at max. It can reach 1020% magical fire damage. Its drawback is that it has fairly low fire potency, but it does have the great Power Crypt R1 that has the magic attack for all allies, which is separate to the normal boost magic attack, which is quite easy to max out already, so that's nice. And it's super nice for full magic attack teams, and it combos very nicely with Zack's Arc Sword. So I would pull for this weapon if you don't already have fire potency setup, or if you need more power for your magic DPS teams. Another reason I'd pull is if I have physical attack fire weapons, but I still want to cover all my bases and get a magic attack fire weapon. And then finally, if you have a strong Arc Sword and you want Zack to be a magic DPS, this is a great shout because they combo very well together. Personally, I won't be pulling for this weapon because I'm happy with my physical DPS fire weapons in the Sky Splitter and Sephiroth's Radiant Edge. Finally, we get to Sephiroth's Protector's Blade, which is overall a very nice weapon. It has a versatile command ability that covers both single and multi-target enemy fights, and it is currently the best magic DPS command ability for both single target and AoE. It has 2 offensive R abilities, unlike the other magic ability potency weapons. Obviously, Aerith's Sun Umbrella has boost magic attack, but this has boost magic attack for all allies, so it is just better. Few other things is that this is actually the second best magic attack stat weapon in the game after Canyon Collar and Thunderbird, and obviously it's not tied to an element, which is actually quite rare with boost magic attack weapons. A large amount of them are actually tied to elements, so that makes this very versatile and useful as a sub weapon as well. So I would pull for this weapon if you want the strongest magic command ability weapon at the moment. And also, again, if you need extra power for any magic attack teams, I would also pull for it if you don't have a strong magic ability potency weapon built yet. And if you need a boost to a magic attack weapon that is not tied to elements. And then if you've been focusing on Sephiroth as a magic DPS, this weapon is fantastic. But even if you've been focusing on him as a physical DPS, and you want to have him as a magic DPS as well, as an option, then this weapon's great as well. That is pretty much it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Once again, best of luck on your pulls if you haven't already spent all your resources on the first banner. See ya!